Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Mommy Cigarette Break. We are here with an emergency smoke break and I have Tim with me because Tim is my legal beagle. I think that's what they call it. And we have to talk about two cases that are in the media right now that I think have the potential to cause a lot of division. And before we start a race war, I just want to talk about it. Okay, so Tim, I don't know if you've heard about the case in South Carolina right now as it relates to the murder of Cyrus Carmack-Belton, a 14-year-old kid who was going to a gas station to get water. Have you heard about this case?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give some of the background. Have you seen the surveillance video?
No.
Okay, and I bet you don't want to see it. So I'm going to break that down to you. So in 2023, Cyrus Carmack-Belton went into this convenience store. The minute he walks into the convenience store, there is a lady who is the wife of Rick Chow. Don't know what her name is, doesn't actually matter. And her son. They are in the store. They can be seen in the store on video footage. When Cyrus walks into the store, he has on a backpack. The wife immediately says, "Put your backpack down." He puts his backpack down. He immediately complies. He goes to the back of the store to where the waters are, and he picks up 4 water bottles. He's then seen he picks up all 4 water bottles. He's then seen putting all 4 water bottles back. The minute that he walked into the store, the minute that he walked back to the waters, the lady is watching him like a hawk the entire time. And I'm saying that because that's important. He puts all 4 water bottles back. He goes back to the front of the store, grabs his backpack, and is getting ready to head out of the store when they say, "Hey, like, you've got waters in your pocket," or whatever. And he shows them, he's like, "I don't have any waters in my pocket." He then proceeds to walk out of the store. They then decide to pursue him, and he walks out of the store calmly. He doesn't run out of the store. He's not in any rush or any hurry. He calmly walks out of the store after telling him, "Hey, I don't have any waters in my pocket." And he kind of like does a motion like shaking his hoodie because he has on a hoodie at the time. They shoot out the store pursuing him. And that point, once he realizes people are chasing him, he starts running. Okay, so there are people in the store that can witness the pursuit. The problem is that nobody can see the full pursuit. Like, there's not one witness that witnessed the entire interaction. And at the point that the shooting happens, the only witnesses that are present are the family themselves. That's a problem. Now, this is a case where there's not a perfect set of facts. And the problem with this case, and which is why I can imagine that Rick Chow was found not guilty, is the fact that this 14-year-old had a loaded pistol on him at the time that he entered this store. And during the pursuit, the loaded pistol fell out. I don't know if it fell out of his backpack or his hoodie, but the loaded pistol fell out. Now, the son of Rick Chow says that during the pursuit, Cyrus turned around and pointed a gun at him, and that is when Rick Chow shot him in his back. He was ultimately found not guilty on Monday, and I think we need to discuss it because obviously, or not obviously, but it's worth noting that no waters were found on him. So although they accused him of stealing, we can confirm without a shadow of a doubt that he did not steal. He did not steal those waters. Ultimately, Rick Chow's defense was self-defense of others, right? He pointed a gun at my son. I thought he was going to shoot and kill him, so therefore I shot and killed him. And ultimately, that defense was successful. What are your thoughts?
I was watching when the verdict came in, and I watched bits and pieces of the case. I'm angry and I'm sad. Like, he was like 14 years old. He didn't even know what life meant yet, right? Like, even if he had stolen 20 waters, if he had went in with his backpack and filled it up with waters, that's not worth his life.
No, it's not. And my thing is this. From the way that lady watched him from the moment he walked in the store, that's important to me. Because if you watched him that closely, then you did watch him take 4 of those waters, but you also would have seen him put them back.
Yeah.
So I think you knew he didn't steal, but I think that when you are looking at these Black boys as criminals, from the moment he walked into that store, you demonized him in your mind. And so it doesn't make sense to you that this criminal would walk into a store, pick up those waters, and not be stealing them. Like he couldn't have just been a young black boy that thought he wanted waters and changed his mind. That narrative doesn't make sense when you've already made it up in your mind that he was a criminal.
Yeah.
And I think that's so sad. And the other thing that infuriates me is why put your store in a black community if you're scared of black people?
Right.
To me, that's the biggest problem because I see a young black boy come into my store, if I had a store, stealing water. I'm not cigarillos. I mean, not bullshit water. My immediate thought is, baby, are you thirsty?
Right. Yeah.
Like it's water. You know what I mean? I'm like, to worst case scenario, he is stealing water. Damn, I think he has a good reason. Maybe he's thirsty. And like, no, I'm not justifying him stealing water by any means, but for that to be worth the pursuit in general, it's problematic to me.
Yeah.
You know, not like I'm gonna call the cops.
Right. Because they were like $1. I think they said they were worth $1. Like each water was $1. And the thing is, I think she saw him pick up the waters, and she just didn't believe her eyes when she saw him put them back. Like she already had this preconceived notion that he's in here stealing. I don't know how $1 or $4 hurts their business, and if it does, you probably need to rethink your business model.
Exactly.
$4 is going to break you. But yeah, like it's not about justifying him stealing because he wasn't stealing. So there's no need to justify it. Like, how are you defending your son against somebody that's running away from you?
Exactly.
If I shoot you in the back, you clip. Like I've seen a lot of stuff. I ain't never seen somebody pointing like this.
Yeah, no, he wasn't running like this.
I mean, I don't know. The jury completely got it wrong. Like completely got it wrong. I don't even know how they can even possibly sleep.
Well,
Like
I think the
they let a
problem,
murderer
though,
walk free.
I think the problem is that this wasn't a perfect case.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it seems like, no, I do know why. Racism. Racism is the answer. So I do know why. But I hate the fact that when it comes to black people, we have to have the perfect set of facts in order for justice to be served. We also have to have the perfect set of facts to catch a break. And it doesn't happen like that for our counterparts. And so the problem is that this 14-year-old had a loaded gun on him.
Yeah.
That's going to set up, and we're going to talk about another case in a second where the problem is that Carmelo Anthony brought a knife to a track event. And even if the fact one has nothing to do with fact two, right? Like,
Yeah.
because we don't know that whether or not he pulled out a gun. If you ask me, I don't believe that he did. No witnesses saw a gun. It's convenient that only the Cho family are the ones who's saying he pointed a gun. And that does present reasonable doubt in a jury's mind if you're inclined to believe that.
Right.
It does. So I guess it's like, I hate that I'm a lawyer and I'm also a black person because when I put on my legal lens, if you are saying he pointed a gun and he does have a loaded gun and there's nobody else around you to refute that fact, it does set up the perfect scenario for a self-defense argument. I mean, there's a reasonable doubt because nobody else can say otherwise.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I just think, and then, you can, like, the prosecutors they only charged him with what? Was it? I forgot what the charge was, but they didn't do any of the lesser included. Like, they didn't include manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter or anything like that to give the jury something else to possibly, like, convict him on. And I wish they
Yeah.
had. Now, I do think, like, he murdered a 14-year-old child in cold blood. I'll believe that till forever.
You're right. So I just looked it up. I don't know if my camera just went off. I hope it did. I just
No.
looked it up. He was only charged with murder. You're right. He wasn't charged with any of the lesser included charges that he could have been charged with. So,
Yeah.
you know, is that injustice in itself? And I don't know. And I kind of steer away from that just because I don't know how South Carolina law works.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. I mean,
it's different across all 50 states. And I feel like sometimes we immediately are like, justice wasn't served here. And when to be clear, I don't believe justice was served here. But a case brought in South Carolina can look very different than a case brought in Texas. And so because I'm not a South Carolina attorney, I can't like say definitively that he should have been charged with manslaughter because their manslaughter statutes could look very different and it could be inapplicable. But it does seem like on its face, he could have been charged with some lesser crimes so that he wasn't just walking away scot-free. He was walking away with
Yeah,
something.
yeah. My heart goes out to these parents, man. Like I couldn't imagine getting that call and then sitting in court and hearing all this evidence presented and seeing videos and pictures and all of
Yeah.
that. And then for the person that killed your child, like shot your child in the back to just walk out, like
To walk out.
I would have lost it.
Yeah. No, it's heartbreaking for the parents. So our thoughts and our prayers, no, not our thoughts and our prayers, because I hate when politicians say that. But our prayers are with the family because this is heartbreaking. And I pray that justice can be served in another way. Maybe they can pursue this family in a civil case.
I hope
And
I hope they shoot him into the to poverty. Like
yeah,
they deserve the worst that life can offer.
yeah. And again, I'm just going to, before we move on to the next case, because we are going to keep this episode short because it's just a smoke break. But I'm just going to say again, putting your stores in Black communities and being afraid of the Black community is the number one problem. Like, that was a 14-year-old boy that walked into your store looking for water. He did not deserve to be killed.
No.
Taking the facts like as you said they were, even if he had have stolen the waters, he still didn't deserve to be killed. And so, rest in peace to Cyrus Carmack-Belton. A heartbreaking story, and justice was not served. Now, moving from South Carolina to Frisco, Texas, there is another case that's in the headlines right now that I want us to talk about. And this one hits home for us because it's only about 40 minutes up the road. And that is the Carmelo Anthony case that is taking place right now. Are you familiar with this case? I think you are. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a case out of Frisco, Texas, happened in 2025. There's a track meet happening. This is in April of 2025. There's a track meet happening in Frisco, Texas. And Carmelo is there with his team. Austin Metcalf and his twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, they're there with their team. These boys do not go to the same school, but Carmelo is in Austin Metcalf's team's tent. And it has come out at trial that he was in this tent because he knew another person that was in the tent. And I say that because originally when this story came out, it was like Carmelo was in this other team's tent. That's so weird. He has no reason to be there. Well, it's come out at trial that he did have a reason to be there. He knew somebody from the other school. And so he was in the tent talking to this other runner. At some point, Austin Metcalf and his group of friends walk up. They want Carmelo to leave the tent. So a lot of debate on what took place in between Austin Metcalf approaching Carmelo and Carmelo stabbing Austin in the chest with a pocket knife. There was also a lot of speculation around what the weapon was that he used, but it has now been confirmed that the weapon that he used was a pocket knife. And in the middle of the scuffle, Austin realizes that he's been stabbed by Carmelo, grabs his chest. Obviously, chaos ensues. Carmelo Anthony takes off running, goes to his coach, tells him what has happened, and waits for police to come. When the police come, they say, "Are you the alleged suspect?" He said, "I'm not alleged. Like, I did it." So, immediate remorse. Now, these facts get fuzzy because from what I can see that's happening in court, it sounds like people are saying that this surveillance footage of what happened that day is so grainy that they had to bring in Tarrant County experts to blow it up so that you can kind of see what happens. And the witnesses that so far that have testified, because mind you, the prosecution just rested their case. So we've seen all the prosecution's witnesses. The defense is up now. From the prosecution's witnesses, what they are saying is that Austin approached Carmelo. He said, "Hey, you need to get out of our tent," in so many words. He then pushes Carmelo, and Carmelo says, "Push me again and see what happens." And then I believe maybe Austin pushed him again, and he says, "Hit me again and see what happens." After he does that, that's when Carmelo reaches in his backpack, grabs a knife, stabs him. Now, there's another couple videos that are going around. Then it seems like of high school staff that have also seen surveillance footage. And what they are saying is that this surveillance footage is as clear as day. It is so clear that you can see the raindrops falling from the sky. And in this video, what it shows is Carmelo being jumped. Carmelo's being jumped. There's one, and you can see at one point he tries to get away. Austin pulls him back in. Then he reaches down, or he reaches to his backpack. He grabs his knife. That's when he stabs him. They're saying you can see the injuries all over his face, which indicate that he has been jumped. And they're saying that this video shows that Carmelo was acting in self-defense. I'm a little confused because the two videos I've seen of them saying that the video was clear, it shows that Carmelo was jumped. It seems like it's coming from very credible people. And I know you've seen those videos, so did you think they were credible? They came across as credible?
They did.
Well, why I'm confused is because that doesn't match what's being told in court right now. And it could be because the prosecution is up and it's the prosecution presenting their case, and that video footage does not help them. But correct me if I'm wrong, an opening statement, that seems like something that the defense would also be able to put up. Or maybe it's coming later. I'm going to stop now because I've given you enough background. Let me know your thoughts.
Again, another really tough case. Like, I can only imagine what that young man is going through, and Austin's family as well. I mean, again, I couldn't imagine getting that call. I haven't, like, they're not allowing cameras in because I'll be watching the case, but I mean, I think it's pretty credible. Like, I feel like, yeah, he was probably, I think he was, when it first came out and they were saying, no, he knew nobody in the 10, like, that don't make sense. Like, at track meets, you run track, you see these people multiple times throughout the season. Like, somebody in it. You don't just walk in somebody's tent and just, unless you're trying to holler at a girl or something.
Well, apparently the guy that he knew in the tent was a friend of his girlfriend's.
Yeah. So I knew that didn't make sense at the beginning, but I really feel like he was being harassed. Like, he's a small guy. Like, these dudes coming in the tent, they twin brothers, they stick together, other friends. You know how high school bullies are. They trying to whatever. And I feel like he got a very credible self-defense claim. Like, he told him one time, you touch me again. All right. He gave him a break again. He said, look, you pushed me the second time. Like, I don't have to keep letting you put your hands on me. Yeah. Now, the part with, like, you brought a knife to the track meet, like, that's where it gets rough. Like, but I think in order for them to say that it was murder and he intentionally killed Austin, like, there has to be, and I don't even know what is he charged? Is he charged with murder, or is it?
Carmelo Anthony has been charged with first-degree murder in this case. And in Texas, in order to prove first-degree murder, prosecutors generally must prove one of the following: that the defendant intentionally or knowingly caused the death of another person, the defendant intended to cause serious bodily harm and committed an act clearly dangerous to human life that caused death. 3, the defendant caused a death while committing or attempting certain felonies. So I think where they're going to get him is number 2. That the defendant intended to cause serious bodily harm and committed an act clearly dangerous to human life that caused death. Because I don't think you can get around the fact that when you stab someone, you don't mean to cause serious bodily harm.
Yeah.
So the question is whether he can prove this self-defense argument. And here again is where I say it seems like for Black people, we have to be perfect. Because I don't think that Rick Chow's self-defense argument was perfect.
It was poor. It was sad. Yeah.
I think it was ass, actually. I don't believe it at all. I don't find it credible at all.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the perfect set of facts where it's like, there's nobody around to refute it. You don't have any witnesses. In Carmelo Anthony's case, of course, that's not the case. There's a ton of witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And we've only heard from the state's witnesses right now. We have not heard from the defense.
Yeah.
And what I always try to tell people is that, the prosecution is up front with their facts. They're up front. They're putting it all out there. And so when charges are brought, all you're hearing from is the prosecution. But the defense attorneys are telling their clients, be quiet. Don't say anything. You wait till our day in court and we put on our case. And so it sounds like a lot of people have made up their minds about this case based on what they've heard from the prosecution. They have not heard from the defense yet. And I am hoping, I literally prayed last night that the story that those staff members are telling is true and that there is video footage that's going to come out as the defense puts on their trial that shows Carmelo Anthony being jumped, that shows, everything that they encountered, that not just one person was hitting on him, two people were hitting on him, that
Yeah.
four people were jumping him, and that he had injuries to prove it, because that does make a strong case for self-defense, but it's still not perfect because then we still have to get over this hurdle of why do you bring a knife to a track meet?
Right.
And here's the problem, which we know all too well. Here's the problem. These prosecutors are playing with the fact patterns. It's like what we did in law school. And so they have a way of making every single thing you did from the moment that you open your eyes that morning, all of it leads to you trying to commit this murder, even if that's not true. There could be an explanation for why Carmelo Anthony had a pocket knife on him that has
Oh yeah. A
absolutely
book.
nothing to do. Yeah. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
pocket knife. It's
I used
not
to
a
have. I had
butcher.
high school. Like I don't even. What did I have it for? Like couldn't. Like it was. I was in the army, so then maybe that was why. But like, there's so many things because especially we got one of those Swiss Army knives. It got a screwdriver on it. It got a maybe you using a screw. I don't know what kind of knife it was. I haven't seen a knife. But like if it's one of those Swiss Army knives, like you pull the screwdriver out to maybe you tighten your cleats. Maybe you want to look. It's so many things that you can have
It's
that
so
for.
many things. Yeah. I mean, it's used for it's a utility. Like,
Right.
it's not it can be used as a weapon, but it doesn't have to be used as a
And the
weapon.
blades on those are so small, like you can use it as a weapon, but like honestly, unless you trying to or you trying to or accidentally hit the right spot, it really won't even. It'll hurt, but it ain't gonna kill nobody. Which
Yeah.
it seems like, unfortunately for Carmelo,
He hit his
he,
heart. He
he
literally
accidentally
stabbed him
went
in
to
his
the
heart.
yeah. So
And so and they talk about that in the trial that, as they were trying to do CPR and the life-saving methods, it didn't matter because he was bleeding out of his heart. So
yeah,
and that's tragic as well. And let me stop right here to say that a life was lost, and I definitely and also feel for the Metcalf family because you know what? If we're being honest, we fights happen in high school all the time,
yeah,
and to some degree, this was just boys being boys. They're shit talking back and forth to each other. At least that's what the witnesses are saying from the prosecution's witnesses are saying, there was kind of some shit talk going back and forth, but nobody expected it to lead to what it ultimately led to. And I think that's commonplace for high school boys going at it. They're on opposing teams. They're both football
yeah.
players. Maybe they've seen each other before.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. But like ultimately, it comes down to don't put your hand like keep your hands to yourself. Whether
Mhm.
he was in the tent and you asked him to leave, like, first of all, who are you to tell me to leave a tent? Like, I'm talking to my friend. You don't have no right to tell me to leave a tent. You ain't no coach. You're not an authority figure. You don't have no right to tell me to leave a tent. Secondly, if it's true that Austin put his hands on Carmelo, I'm not saying he should have died. He should not have. He's a young person in the prime of his life. He should have went home that day. But the thing is, you can only control your action. You can't control somebody else's reaction. You don't know what, even if Carmelo had came to the event planning to do something to him in particular or to anybody, you don't know what Carmelo was going through at home on the way to school. You don't know what kind of day he was having. And you picked the wrong day to mess with the wrong person. Like just
Yeah.
leave
No,
people
that's
alone,
true.
mind your business. You don't know where somebody is mentally.
The so one of the I don't know if it was the prosecution or one of the witnesses, they described it as this is lethal force versus non-lethal force. And I think
Yeah.
unless the defense has that video that is being circulated, and it like the actual video is not being circulated, but counts of
Hope they
people who
call
have
him.
seen the video have been circulated, and they're telling a completely different story. But short of that, it's going to be hard. And then to your point, I think they have to call him.
Yeah, that guy, that teacher or whatever he was.
No, I think they have to call Carmelo. I think that he has to. I think he has to take the stand because he's cooked otherwise. And here's why. There's nobody that can explain why Carmelo Anthony brought that knife to that track meet other than Carmelo. There's no other witness that's going to be able to explain that. And if you are saying self-defense, there's nobody else that's going to be able to speak to Carmelo's state of mind at that time other than Carmelo. This isn't like the Rick Choi case where the son could get up and speak and say, he pointed a gun at me.
Right.
And that's what
I
my,
mean,
like,
I think it depends on what evidence the defense had. Like if they have that video that's as clear as they say it is, and you can clearly see 4 people jumping him, I don't think he needs to test it. Like anybody will be, hell, if 4 people jumping me, 4 athletes are jumping me, I'm fearful for my life.
but
I don't
here's the
know what
thing,
I'm gonna
Tim. But here's the thing. The friend that he got up and said that he was going to see in the tent, the friend gets on the stand. He's the prosecution's witness. And he says, yeah, I knew him. Yeah, I kind of knew him, but I wouldn't say we were friends. And then, of course, the defense gets up and they show like picture after picture of him and this guy, Eddie, together. So, they kind of refute it.
Yeah.
But I
But
think
you
that's a
know, too,
problem.
they're playing the game. Like he's the prosecution witness. He was subpoenaed, I would bet. Like they probably scared him into, like, if he wasn't subpoenaed, they was just actually they probably subpoenaed him anyway. But I'm sure he was like, I'm sure all of
Scared
those
with what? Like he didn't
was
commit a
like,
crime.
he didn't, but a high school kid, if you got detectives, you got police officers, you got lawyers, you got all these folks coming at you saying, hey, we need you to testify. If you support your friend Austin, or what,
Yeah, I
however
get
they try
the
to
point.
spin it.
I think
Um,
there could have been social pressure for
and
sure.
certainly that, because you got to go to school with these people. You live in a community with his family and his, so it's,
And
like him
he
being,
died.
and he died, right? Like that's it. Take that with a grain of salt. I would love to, man, I would love to be able to see, because it's hard to read stuff and really get a vibe for how the case is going.
Yeah.
Because I would like to see and hear the defense's cross examination of all these witnesses and how they're refuting the evidence that's presented.
Right. No, I would too. But
Because
I
like
still think
all
there's
you need is
go
a
ahead.
reasonable doubt. Like that's, and you really only need one person for that. Like so, I know the jury. There was some.
Well, let's talk about the jury then. Let's talk about the jury then. Because like you said, you only need one person. Would you believe me if I told you there's not a single black person on this jury?
Yeah,
There are 18 people on this jury, 12 jurors, 6 alternates, mostly white. I think there might be 2 Middle Eastern people.
yeah,
Saw 1 Asian, I believe. Maybe look that up so that I'm not just completely wrong.
yeah.
Uh,
It's let's see, 18 people, 11 women, 7 men. There are 3 Asian women and 2 women of color, which I don't know what that.
Middle Eastern.
Okay, but yeah, so that's the makeup.
And they dismissed the 3 black women
Hmm.
as jurors because they said they were teachers, so they would be biased, which I think is complete bullshit.
Right.
So do we have faith that the jury will get it right?
No.
No, I don't. I don't.
All the cases over the years where it's like Trayvon Martin, that's like the first one that I remember. Like it's so many cases where the whole country knows, like, okay, this is the right decision is guilty, or whatever. In Trayvon Martin case, he's the defendant should have been found guilty, and they come back with not guilty, and it's just like,
How
how
did
did
you get that?
you get there?
When there's even when there's video footage,
Right.
they still have gotten it wrong. Most of the time, they still get it wrong.
Yeah. Like the recent case we just talked about, they got it wrong, and I can see how I mean, okay, you got a little more leeway there, but it still got it wrong. So I don't have any faith that they'll get it right,
Yeah,
just
but
because history has said that juries most of the time don't.
that they don't. But like I said, going back, I do think Carmelo Anthony has to take the stand because even if that video comes out and they show self-defense, the prosecution's narrative, I think, can still be incredibly credible because you've got, like, let me just paint the picture again. Now that we've got all the facts out, you've got Carmelo Anthony in this tent saying, "I went to go see Eddie." Eddie's like, "I'm not even really friends with this guy."
Yeah.
So from their point of view, it's like he's in the tent. Nobody knows why. I even saw somebody say he's in the tent just staring off into the distance. So it's like, why is this guy in the tent? He's armed with a knife that's in his backpack. And then, you know, according to their testimony, he's pushed and maybe even hit, and then he stabs in response to that.
Yeah.
So even if the video footage comes out to show that, okay, he was jumped, I still think you need to explain why he had that knife in the first place. Because I could see an argument, I could see people believing that, he was just a kid looking for trouble with those set of facts. And we need somebody to get on that stand and to, refute that point. And I don't know who can do that other than Carmelo.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm just like
It's risky.
that could go so wrong.
It's risky, but when you
Prosecution gets a chance to cross-examine, and they not gonna be no type of, you know what I mean, no type of nice. They not
Mhm.
gonna, and like I'm sure he's gonna be I mean, adults are in a frazzled state when they're on the stand. Like
Yeah.
that can go so. It could go wrong more likely than it can go right.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think it's risky, but I will say this, the defense so far from the commentating that I have watched, the defense has not put on a strong case yet. So,
I mean, while the prosecution was present, or since they've started.
even since they've started.
Well, today would be the first day, right?
No, they started on Saturday.
Uh, okay.
And so, it's not like the defense is currently knocking it out of the park. And I don't know, maybe it's going to get stronger as the trial goes on.
Well, I
But I
thought you
think
would put your strongest evidence for.
okay, well then that's troubling.
That's what but hey, I'm not a criminal, so
Yeah.
criminal offense, so I don't know.
You're not a criminal or a criminal defense attorney.
Yeah.
Well, all eyes are going to be on this. I'm concerned about this case because you've got the Rick Chow case where he was just let go after killing a 14-year-old boy for
Yeah.
allegedly stealing water that he did not steal. And then you have this Carmelo Anthony case where he is facing first-degree murder.
Yeah.
He's putting up a self-defense argument. Rick Chow put up a self-defense argument.
Mhm.
Will Carmelo receive the break that Rick Chow just did in South Carolina?
I can't see it happen.
I can't see it happening either,
Hate, man.
especially in Frisco. And when he doesn't, I'm praying that he does. But if he doesn't, I think that that might be the perfect storm, mixed with the fact that we have Donald Trump as president. And any day, it takes one time for him to comment on either of these cases in the wrong way
Yeah.
for things to start
And it's
unraveling.
already like there's so many there's protests there outside the
Yeah.
courthouse, and like from what I'm reading and the videos I've seen, it gets pretty heated. So either side, if the case goes in the favor of the prosecution or the favor of the defense, it could get ugly real quick. My fear too. First of all, he's 17, right? So he's being charged as an adult. But if he gets off, his life is still like he can't live. He got to move. He can't live in that area anymore. He probably got to leave the whole state of Texas. Like he. I mean, if he tries to go to college, no matter what he does, somebody's gonna recognize him as, oh, you're the kid that, and I hate that. Is
I hate that too. I hate that too because one of the things happened, like when he went up to his coach after it happened, and the coach's like, so much was happening. Kids were saying somebody got stabbed, somebody got stabbed. And Carmelo's right there. He said he takes Carmelo and he just starts walking down the track with him because he can't even like process everything that's happening. And he puts his arm around him. He says, "You stabbed somebody, son?" And Carmelo tells him, "Yes, like that, I did that." And he said, well, he says, if that kid dies, your life is about to change drastically. And he says, when he says that to him, Carmelo says, well, he's not going to die. And coach says, okay, but if he does, your life is about to change drastically. And the coach was actually one of the first witnesses that the defense put up. He says, when he says that to him, Carmelo breaks down crying. And I think it's just so heartbreaking because it's like, actually, whether he died or whether he didn't die, your life
Mhm.
was about to change drastically. And of course, we know that he did end up dying. And I
Yeah,
think that's just God, that's heartbreaking. That's
it is.
heartbreaking because as a mother,
Mhm,
like just as parents, you dread the day, you pray the day never comes, and you try to teach your kids right from wrong. We do that with our kids. We do the best that we can with our kids, right? But they're still kids and they still make mistakes. And they're still trying to understand the consequences of their mistakes.
mhm.
And from everything I've seen, it looks like Carmelo comes from an amazing family, a
Yeah,
supportive family. It looks like he got like a Lexus for his birthday. Like he didn't come from poverty. He
mhm.
came from a two-parent household.
Yeah,
Looks like he comes from a family similar to the household that we have for our kids, right? And so that's your worst nightmare. You hope you can
yeah.
protect your kids. You hope that they always make the right decisions, but sometimes they stray and sometimes they don't. And sometimes in the heat of the moment, they don't make the right decision or they get scared, you know? And I have just constantly been thinking about that mom
Yeah,
who is trying to maintain some sense of normalcy for her kids because she has more kids than just Carmelo and it's
mhm.
been faced with death threats and, is in the limelight in such a
Yeah,
negative way. And she just woke up one morning and her life changed drastically too.
yeah, yeah.
And so when you say like he's gonna have to move, I'm like, but what about this
The whole
family? Like
yeah.
the whole family, the siblings. He has sisters.
I can't
What
even
about
they still going to that in that school shit. I just like, how
what
can
you gotta homeschool him, I would
yeah,
think. And
yeah.
you're being faced with death threats, and you're thrust into the limelight. And it's like, yeah, some people are in support of you, but it's negative press that you didn't ask for, that you had no way of expecting. And so my heart is just with this family. And I hate that this is going to be about race. This case is going to be about race, whether we like it or not, because it was a black boy that killed a white boy. But at the end of the day, these are two kids, two lives lost in this situation, and I hate it. I mean, this case really breaks my heart, and I
Yeah.
don't know if you have anything else to say on it as we
No,
wrap
I
up.
mean, it's really yeah, it's heartbreaking. Like, I can only imagine his parents trying to keep their spirits up so they can keep him up, but like it's tough. It's
Yeah.
what do you say? Like, there's not even words to.
What do you say? What do you like? And it's like because you say all the things. What when you're rearing them, we're
Mhm.
saying all the things to Serrani now. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I'm sure Cyrus's mom said all the things to him then, and it's like
yeah.
we have to be hard on our kids. We have to be hard on our kids because whether they're right or whether they're wrong, society is so hard on them. If you look at the Cyrus
And
Carmack
like in
case,
the
that we are not given the benefit of the doubt.
my fear is like at this point, anything Serrani can get herself into, I can get her out of. Like at the point that as a parent, like where they can do something, they can say they can be whatever. They're in a situation that dad or mom can't get them out of. Like that's like
The worst day of my life.
like I mean, man. And then you got I can only imagine the parents are going back and questioning. I know we got to wrap up, but like going back and questioning. Did I mess up when I was raising them? Did I not give them the right lesson? Like that's
Or
I,
did you do everything right because you taught him from a young age to defend himself?
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I pray that that family is in therapy or has somebody around with a therapy background to help them to navigate it. And I pray the same for Austin's family too, because I mean, you lost your child his senior year of high school. Like, man,
Two kids with promising careers, both have like football scholarships pending. I mean, it's heartbreaking for both families. It's heartbreaking for both families, but I'm praying that I mean, I would love to see this jury come back and say not guilty.
Yeah.
I want to see self-defense arguments work for us the same way they work against us. I want to see stand your ground arguments work for us the same way they work against us. It seems like we have to have the perfect set of facts in order for us to catch a break, and our counterparts don't. And that's what's
Even
so
again, you don't sometimes. Like,
yeah,
even if, I mean, and like, I know somebody's gonna see it and like, oh, y'all making it about race. Like, well, welcome to the United States of America.
it's all about race.
Everything has always been about race from day one until today. Um, and if you can't see that, then you need to read a book or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
then you're the problem, not us. We're
Yeah.
just addressing the obvious. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming and talking to me on this emergency smoke break episode. It's not short, so I might as well just stop acting like they're going to be short because we had to talk about this. We had to get into this specifically, and I didn't want to drown it with like other topics. This is so important. All eyes should be on these two cases, and maybe we'll come back once the verdict is rendered in the Carmelo Anthony trial. All right. Well, thanks. Bye, guys.